sometimes the kingdom of God really starts out small. It's the opposite of what you think. And so we have to look for the small. We have to look for the disguised things. And then when we see that, we know that that's where the kingdom's working. It only takes one, it only takes a couple to change an entire culture. And I feel like that's happening.
We all grew up together. Our parents were all friends. We shared a strong faith. Our families shared faith. And so we realized that we're in such a fortunate situation of how we were raised and who we were raised with that we needed to share that.
In 8th grade, my parents took us all to camp. We all were super changed by the camp. It was an amazing experience for all of us.
Going back to Jackson, where not a lot of people share the same faith as us, it's often hard. We hadn't really experienced a club where it helped us grow in our faith, so we wanted to be able to start something like that.
So sophomore year, we began a huddle at the Classical Academy, and shortly after starting the huddle at the Classical Academy, we decided that the public school needed one as well. During the school day, we had study hall at Classical Academy, and the public school had what's called flex. And during their flex time, we would leave Classical Academy, we'd drive over to the public school, and we'd lead club there. It was probably the scariest thing ever. We were like, all right, prayer time is meant to be in the car on the way to the high school before we lead so that we can surrender the club to God. I think that made a big difference for us, just surrendering it to God and whatever's meant to happen will happen. But going from the Classical Academy to the public school to lead, we felt like outsiders in a way. We both were sort of thinking that attending the public school would have a greater impact on those kids that came to FCA that week. And so we thought that maybe that's a good option for us, is to switch over to the public school. We did a lot of talking, a lot of praying. It was made so clear to us that it was meant for us to go over there.
We were both really fearful of going to the high school and just in need of a mentor. That year, God gifted us with a coach who I had met at FCA, and she really just came into every part of my life.
One thing, what comes to mind when I think of Benton Hayden is courageous. Some weeks there'd be 5 to 6 people there. And they still get up there and share the word. And then there's some weeks where there's 35 of their really good friends and they still get up there and share the word. So through the highs and lows and ebbs and flows of high schoolers, they just would show up. Really what they love to do is just talk about the Bible and pray. And that was really cool. We started praying with each other, being able to pray with their peers, and they spurred that on. And they're so excited about getting people to FCA. They've inspired me to be a better person too, just more courageous, more brave, and speaking the truth of Jesus Christ.
It's been really cool to see God working through my friendships. They would reach out to me when they were feeling a lot of doubt in their existence here. They were very close to committing suicide. And so I think that FCA has given me a stronger faith of my own, because practicing talking to other kids at our school has helped me share that faith with my friends if I hadn't already. And fortunately, all of those friends are still here today. But I think that even having those people at FCA as a community has been very impactful.
So much of our life, I think, is shrouded, and you have only a partial view of what's really going on. There are days when you can't see the peaks, you can't see the glory. And then one day, the sky opens up and you see the grandeur, you see the majesty, you see what you're supposed to see. What Benta and Hayden and Trinity have seen is a glimpse of that. That through the foggiest, most invisible days, that foundation, and they're starting to see who God truly is and what he wants to do in a life here in a small town in the Tetons.